Good evening and thank you for joining us. An Amber Alert issued early this morning in eastern Saskatchewan for a 7-year-old girl has ended tragically this afternoon.
Today at approximately 12:45, investigators located Naya deceased in her residence in Choiceland, Saskatchewan. A short time ago, our investigators met with family members and have ensured victim services support is available to them.
The Amber Alert was deactivated after Naya EASTMAN was found deceased in a home. RCMP say the girl's father, Adam J. EASTMAN, was found dead this morning on a rural property from self-inflicted injuries. The investigation is ongoing, but police say they're not looking for any other suspects. EASTMAN's parents live in Lloydminster and chose not to give a statement to Newcap News at this time. Well, residents and business owners are more optimistic about the region's future after hearing from ATB Financial's chief economist this morning. Despite current conditions, Todd HIRSCH expects the economy to grow next year. Brian Lentz reports.
Well, it's going to be a bit sluggish for a while longer. We do expect some modest GDP growth rate to come back in 2017.
Todd HIRSCH spoke to a packed room at the Golf and Curling Center and says though oil prices will stabilize and possibly grow next year, jobs will be slow to follow.
Companies will be very reluctant to start adding a lot of people. They'll add a little bit, but they'll probably just move people from part-time to full-time work. So that's why we're expecting, even though growth comes back, it's not going to create a whole lot of new jobs, not yet.
Those in attendance also had questions about the carbon tax.
It's more or less neutral for Alberta's economy. However, for individuals, it's not neutral, and a lot of households are going to have to find a way to pay. And for some of those households, it will amount to quite a hit to the pocketbook.
Local economists say agriculture and other services have helped support the border city over the past 2 years.
The fact that we're a regional service hub for retail, medical and other sort of services, that's helped bring dollars and cents in from our surrounding areas and regions and helped provide a good base to our community.
Both Reid and HIRSCH say there is optimism for the future of Lloydminster and the province.
When the province starts moving upwards, it's largely going to be energy driven, and of course we are probably one of the prime areas that will benefit from that.
There is still an underlying kind of enthusiasm for what we can build in this province. So it's a bit of tension. Yeah, there's fear and anxiety, but there's also some excitement about what the next 5 years looks like for Alberta.
Brian Lentz, Newcap News.
Well, Sleep Country Canada is making a special delivery to the Interval Home to help make the stay for those who use the shelter a little more comfortable. The company donated 18 new beds along with new mattress covers, pillows, and sheets to the local non-for-profit to outfit their whole facility.
It is something that we try to do in each of the markets in which we enter, and I know our team are excited about it, and it does feel great. Sadly, the need, domestic violence is not something that's going away, and so at the end of the day, if we can do our part, we're excited.
Anytime that we get these kind of donations, it takes away the financial cost for us to have to replace these items within the shelter. If we are able to use those finances elsewhere to supporting women and children, it just really increases the ability to provide that support.
The old mattresses will either be refurbished or recycled. McGee says Sleep Country hopes to continue to help with the Interval Home's needs in the future. Well, fasting is widely known as a quick way to lose weight by putting off eating for anywhere between 12 to 24 hours. However, health experts warn about the dangers of fasting and often lean to more traditional methods for weight loss. In this week's Healthy Living, Josh Ryan speaks to local nutritionists about a new study on intermittent fasting.
A study from Louisiana found that cutting meals after 2 p.m. is an effective way of losing weight and reducing fat. However, Prairie North's Stacey Weens has some trepidations about the study, particularly the sample size of 11 people.
When you look at the research, some of these studies are very small, and there just needs to be a lot more research behind the long-term health effects before we can recommend something like this.
World-class training in nutrition's Renee Weinkauf disagrees with the recommendation as well, saying his experience with bodybuilding and fitness training have stressed the importance of maintaining your meals.
We usually fast every 4 hours or so we eat, so that way it's just barely keeping that metabolism running, just barely giving the body what it needs, but that's just enough.
In my terms, cutting out a meal actually makes you more hungry and sometimes you're going to be skipping nutrients that you would be getting if you'd be having that meal.
In addition to concerns such as loss of muscle mass and increased insulin resistance, long-term fasting may not be realistic for people who work longer hours, especially in the evening.
If you work in an industry where you're busy well past those hours, you're going to be missing that energy, to do your job properly.
Weens does agree, though, that it's wise to cut eating after your last big meal.
Maybe take that concept of a mini fast, and just once you're done eating supper, you're done eating for the evening, and you have a good night's rest, and you wake up and you have a really healthy breakfast.
While Weinkauf insists the most effective strategy for immediate weight loss, along with managing what you eat, is to include exercise in your daily routine.
Adding in a little bit of cardio, a half-hour cardio a day and a good 1 hour workout a day is going to put your weight loss through the roof, and it's going to get you the results you want a lot faster.
Josh Ryan, Newcap News.
Well, the family farm is evolving in Western Canada. Those changes can be disconcerting to an institution that has supported agriculture production for generations. In this week's Ag Report, Gerard Lampow finds out how that dynamic is unfolding for a young couple.
The number of farms is diminished, but generally the farm size is increased.
Lance Leachman is a fourth-generation cattle producer managing about 170 cow-calf pairs in the Maidstone area. His family homesteaded here in the 1900s, and at one point they had mixed agriculture. His wife Sherry has her ag roots in Manitoba. They have both pursued ag studies at university and are regulars at ag conferences as they position their family farm.
It's a very honorable thing to be a part of, and to know that that you are able to take on something that's been a legacy that those previous generations have left for you to manage and then to take forward.
I still think generally most people are proud to have family farms operating to a higher degree than what they have, and probably more successfully because they made it more of a business.
As dynamics change, Lance says producers choose to specialize in either crops or livestock. Another touchy subject is passing on the legacy or succession planning, especially as some family members may not embrace the rural lifestyle and parents may be holding on to traditions.
It's a gradual process. You have to recognize the work and the time that has been put in on the previous generation's part to accumulate what they have, and so not be pushy, but at the same time to make sure that there's dialogue as to our interest in perhaps transitioning it over.
There's no exact template that's out there that everybody can follow and do it successfully. It's always going to look different to everybody depending on what the family situation looks like.
Lance says it takes communication and long-term planning among family members to tackle handing on the family farm. Sherry and Lance have been married for 2 years and at some point will have their own children as they develop their family farm legacy.
You see some of the most successful and highly talented people have grown up on farms, and I think it's because of the work ethic that's instilled in those young folks, the responsibilities that they're given at a young age, and just how they're generally taught to conduct themselves.
We'll be excited someday to be able to raise children on the family farm just as we were too, and we have some really excellent mentors and role models between our parents and some really great friends that have done that and are doing a great job of incorporating them into their family operation.
Gerard Lampow, Newcap News.
This is Newcap Sports.
Another rough night for the Lloydminster Bobcats. They fell 3-1 to the Wolverines last night, leaving them with 15 losses on the season. The Cats kept the game close and the energy high, but couldn't capitalize on scoring chances. Bailey Nitty has more.
After 2 quick goals from the Wolverines, the Bobcats stepped their game up with a goal from Kobe Walker, making it 2-1. The game was scoreless in the second, despite plenty of scoring chances.
We got 3 5-on-3s and we don't capitalize on one. That's going to kill you night in, night out. The effort's there every night. Like, I'll never doubt our guys' effort in that locker room. It's just that instinct to score a goal when you need one. We haven't had guys step up when we've needed to.
The Wolverines scored on an empty net in the third, giving them the 3-1 win. Now it's back to the drawing board as the Cats will have one last practice before a home-and-home weekend. The main focus, creating strategies for the power play and PK.
We're giving a lot of odd man rushes up lately, so forwards need to get back and the D needs to watch their pinches, but once we fix that up, I think we'll get a few games strung together.
Chaston Braid was added to the Bobcats lineup next to Zach Webb and Scott Ivey. The new line had a number of opportunities and have huge potential for success.
Impact player for us tonight. I thought he keeps playing like that, we're going to have success down the road. Guys are going to follow him. He knows how to win. He knows how to play hockey.
When asked if making trades was in the cards, the answer was clear, and that was not giving up on the team they've been dealt.
It's the group we've chosen, and we're going to battle with them every night, and we'll go to battle with them for the rest of the year.
The Bobcats will play the Calgary Mustangs on Friday night, which should be an easier matchup. The Calgary Mustangs are sitting at the bottom of the South Division with only 3 wins and 17 losses. The Canmore Eagles will be here on Saturday night, and they are sitting in the middle of the pack in the South Division. Puck drop is 7:30 here at the Civic for both nights. Bailey Nitty, Newcap Sports.
Well, after winning a provincial curling championship in March, Lindsay Makachuk, a Lloydminster native, and 3 other Albertans will compete in the Canadian Mixed Championship in Yarmouth, Nova Scotia this weekend. 2 men and 2 women are representing Team Alberta. They will play 2 games every day for a week, hoping to make it to the finals on the 19th. The road has been long, but Team Alberta is ready to compete.
For the past 8 months, we've been practicing hard. We've been getting together weekly for practices, whether it's in Lloyd or Edmonton or even Grand Prairie, and working hard towards this goal.
Lindsay's dad, Dusty Makachuk, who is also from Lloydminster, will be coaching the team. The winner of Nationals will qualify for Worlds, which is being held in Switzerland. The team that qualifies will have 11 months to prepare.
To win Nationals, we really want to come home with the maple leaf on our back.
To see how Makachuk and the rest of Team Alberta is doing at the championships, you can visit curling.ca/2016 mixed.